good morning listeners, and welcome to another episode of Eternal Energies. Now what we've got today is a very special guest because I've been looking forward to this for a long time. His name is Josh, and before I introduce him, he plays the ancient instrument, the kora, which you can see in shot here, right next to him here. And he will be playing this later on. And we will, before we do this, we know that this program is here for you to make choices, for you to get some idea of how and what path might be good for you. If you don't have any understanding of where to go, or what path you need, or you've been controlled within your lifespan of going down one way like a blinkered horse race, then this is the program for you. So please enjoy, and before we go any further, I'll say welcome Josh.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, we've explained what you do,
Yes.
we've explained what instrument you play. Let's say, when did you first start?
When did I first start? Right. When I was young, about 8 or 9, I think, possibly younger.
Right.
And it was my father.
All right.
He saw it being played in London and basically fell in love with it. And he went to study in Africa, I think when I was a very young child.
Did he?
And then he came back and started teaching me as soon as I was old enough. Brilliant.
Very brilliant.
And we lived in Wales, in the middle of nowhere, in the sticks. Did go to school, but the majority of my time playing the instrument, a good 3 to 4 hours every day, nearly. Yeah, my dad was really dedicated, and he really, and obviously as a young child I didn't really want to do it.
No, like we don't.
No, and I slowly started to develop a liking to it later on.
Right.
As I got older, but maybe I can talk about that in a bit.
Yes, yeah, that's fun.
So basically I just started playing, he just started teaching me. And as I say, when I became a young teenager, I started to not really want to do it very much anymore, and I wasn't very interested. But then I found a cassette of a kora player called Tumani Jabati. I don't know if you might have heard. Anyone who knows this instrument will know this name, because he's a fantastic kora player. And I just fell in love with it, literally fell in love with it. And I sat in my room every day just playing along to the CD as much as I could, and I tried to learn every single thing on that CD. I think there's about 8 tracks or something on there. I learned every single one of them. And then since that day onwards, never looked back. Just played it every day.
Brilliant.
Every day.
Am I right in thinking that this is based on the harp?
I think harp is based on it.
Oh,
to
right.
be honest. I mean, personally, I think it all originates from it originates from a bow.
Right.
You know, a bit of string, someone's tapping it. It's developed. You've attached a sound box to it to make it more resonant. I think it all originates from a similar idea, and it starts off as basically a bow and arrow, and someone starts plucking the string, and then it slowly develops more strings. And the kora, I mean, they say it's over 400 or 500 years old. Obviously, there's not many records.
No.
Being West African, there's not many written.
I know. I was going to say, yeah.
So a lot of it's just legends and that sort of stuff. There's no written sort of.
And I suppose it's been improved as time goes on.
Yeah, like these pegs here. This is a modern thing. It used to be leather rings. I learned on with the leather rings, which is really hard to try and tune, as you can imagine. Right. Leather rings for each string. Yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely. Now I know it's very much, when you play, and the listeners will understand this, it's very much a spiritual and meditative kind of relaxing music. Do you do this, is this your living? Do you do this as a living?
Yeah, it is.
So where do you perform?
I work for a charity called Live Music Now.
Right.
We work in London, and we go around playing live music to people who don't get to have live music in their life. So people in care homes and schools with learning disabilities and that sort of stuff. Fantastic charities, really check them out. Live Music Now, really great. I do a lot of work with them at the moment, and I do a lot of teaching as well. And I don't do many live performances at the moment locally. Occasionally in London, just to check the website for no. Festivals, got festivals this year. Do all the festival scenes, but mainly teaching. It's becoming so much more popular now that people are really starting to really like it, and lots of people want to learn, which is really nice.
Have you been invited to the Harmony Fest?
No, I don't think so. No.
Right, okay.
Sounds interesting.
Well, that's on, it's a bit too soon now, I suppose.
Right.
I mean, that's on the 17th, 18th of July, so that'll be next weekend.
Yeah, right.
That's a bit too soon.
It is a bit too soon, yeah.
But having said that, well, we'll see if we can't push it from there. But as for, I like the idea of going round supported living and residential homes.
Yeah.
Because I worked in there, and that's my my forte.
Okay.
So yeah, I like the idea of that, and you know, maybe we can sort something out for that, because I know that my mum would love it as well.
Right. Yeah.
So,
It's a great way of connecting with people. You know, people, especially when there's something people haven't seen before. It's really intriguing and beautiful, and you know, see people get really emotional about it, and just the sound and the softness of it. It works really well for that. It works really well. Yeah.
That's great. We talked on the spiritual aspect of it. Has there been any other influences in your life to do with your beliefs or faiths that have steered you down a certain path and maybe encouraged you, without you knowing,
Right.
to go down the path you're on now?
Yeah. Well, without me knowing, I don't know. That's like, you know, that guy I was talking about on the CD, Tamani.
Right.
He, I went and played for him in London, and he invited me out to Mali in his house in Bamako, and I studied with him for when I was about 15, I think. He's a spiritual man. He's a very peaceful and humble man. I think that had an influence on, some influence on my way of looking at playing and the way that I approach it. It definitely has.
I must admit, all the times I've had feedback, seen you, listened to you, and been in the area where you're playing, your music does something to me.
Right.
Hence, that's why I invited you to come on.
Yeah.
And not because of what it is, because how you are when you're playing it, which will resonate with the listeners when they see it. We talked about meditative music, and that would be another channel, or another string to your bow, excuse the pun.
Yeah.
But that'd be another way to go on that. And I do think that, because when you listen to meditative tapes today of music and soft music, a lot of them are influenced by nature.
Right, yeah.
Whether it be the dolphins or the whales or whatever it happens to be. Or the birds outside, or nature itself. You know, I was just thinking about this one now, they've got about a garden. You go out and you hear all the sounds of the garden, and you can almost smell the scents of the flowers and trees and things, and grass and things like that. With you, then I do feel that that would be really good, because it's almost like on a boat, on water.
Right, yeah.
That singular emotion that is there.
That's the thing. When I play, a lot of it's improvised. A lot of it's improvised in the moment. It's not. I mean, that's the thing with the choral pieces. They're not in any way. They have certain structures, but the rest of it is sort of improvisation.
Right.
So I am aware that it's not. I'm not consciously making a decision of what notes to play.
No.
It's just happening, and I'm enjoying it. And it's just, I'm not thinking, I'm
going
to play this, I'm going to play that. It does just happen, and it's something else actually steering me and telling me what notes to play in a way. Because I know it's not my conscious mind making a decision of what notes to play.
Yeah, but that's surely because you feel that music anyway. You feel it.
Yeah.
And it resonates with inside you. So it's almost like having a little voice inside you directing you and pushing you, which is good, because we all need an avenue to get to that state. And if it is music, I mean, let's face it, years ago the shamans were doing it all the time, and unfortunately in the 60s when I was about, people were doing it and taking things to get that way.
Right, yeah.
But
Yeah.
unfortunately, they did it the wrong way, whereas today it's a case of that more people have access to not the kora, but the music like the kora, you know.
Yeah.
And it's, if you ever listen to a classical piece of music which is favoured to you, certain bits of that resonate and take you into a different world.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And maybe that's the same with certain things whereby, you know, we focus on something. Like people say to me, don't you focus on something and your mind's somewhere else, you're off with the fairies somewhere.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But, flippant again, I know, but that actually is what's happening. You're not off with the fairies, of course, but you're off, you know, you're into another dimension, and that's what, every time I hear you, I'm aware that you are, and I certainly am myself.
Right.
So we'll have to calm ourselves down so I don't go off somewhere.
Yeah. That's good to know that it's obviously having that influence on, because I know it has that influence on me.
Yeah.
And it's nice to know obviously it has that influence on other people.
And I have to say that the people that are around me really are influenced by your music.
Okay.
And they couldn't wait for me to get you into the studio to interview you. No. But having said that, they also can't wait to listen to you live again as well. Yeah. So we will talk about that later on.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Right. Now, I just want to take you just a little way back, just at the moment.
Yeah.
Because you did say that your dad was the one who first picked it up and heard it.
Yes.
Went and had instruction and came back and taught you.
Yes. Did
he play any other instruments?
He played the guitar. He dabbled in the guitar. I think he played a bit of music at school. He didn't do it professionally. But so yeah, that's what when he bought one of the CDs of the Kora Players, when he first did the first concert, he went home and tried to learn the Kora pieces on the guitar.
Right.
Which turned out to be a very difficult, almost impossible thing to do. Because there's so many different dynamics going on. It's very difficult to actually do it on the guitar. So then he tried to make one. I think he tried to use 5 glass as the body. I think he failed. And he then managed to get hold of one and buy one, but this time in the UK they were very rare, as you can imagine.
How rare, are they still rare now?
Getting less rare.
Are they?
Yeah, thanks to my dad and a few other people who my dad now makes and sells this one.
Does he?
This one, yeah. And the popularity is growing. It's getting much bigger on a daily basis around the whole of Europe, which is amazing. Because everyone that hears it just goes, wow, what a crazy sound, soft sound.
It's a unique sound.
Yeah,
there's definitely that. Yeah,
it stands out. Yeah.
But everybody that I associate with, and they've seen you play, have assimilate the two, the playing and your feeling of the music.
Right. Okay.
I think without one or the other, may not have the same response.
Right. Yeah.
That's personal to me, what I'm saying, but that's also generative of what people have told me.
Right.
Okay. But I do feel that because it's an instrument of, it's a powerful instrument because it touches and takes you on a journey. Mm. And whatever that happens to be, that journey is individual for everybody. Yet the music is generic for everybody.
Yeah. Nice.
So that's really,
that's nice.
Really good.
Yeah.
Before I ask you to play,
yes,
you've touched on the thing whereby you're not aware sometimes of what you're playing, and therefore probably the notes just come to you and you play it without even thinking. There's no reason behind it, rhyme or reason behind it.
Yeah.
But it all seems to go within the piece that you have maybe chosen to start with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is? How do you think that works?
It's something to do with the flow, the right flow of energy, I think, that's going through, because it's the same when someone's listening to it, and that's why people can relate to it, because you're expecting to go in the same way, and it's following a certain path. It's that flow, that feeling is continuing on. If you were to suddenly play something that didn't fit and it's completely out, everyone would know that it was out, including yourself, including your body would know that it just wouldn't feel right. So I think it's just your body and your mind and the whole thing's just going along with it, it's going with the flow. And if you really relax and just let that flow go, that's when you can make something that other people can relate to, because they're following a similar flow. Do you understand what
I do.
Yeah.
And that leads me nicely on to, I wanted to know about the energies that are behind it.
Right.
I didn't actually say it, but you told me.
Okay.
So that's,
Nice.
just remember, this is called universal energies.
Yeah.
And so it's the energies, whether it be music, or you have a spiritual understanding, or nature is more involved around you because of maybe the way you're thinking. Whatever that happens to be, they're all energies, and those energies combined, and that's why we get asked the listeners to make up their own mind and have a look, and maybe it'll influence them one way, maybe it won't, maybe they don't want to see it. But that's entirely up to them.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to ask you now, Josh, if you wouldn't mind, would you play us something?
I will indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the piece I'm going to play now is it's a traditional African piece. It's called Mini Umba, but it is very much my own take on it.
Lovely.
Okay.
Looking forward to it. That was excellent. Thank you so much. That was really something special.
Thank you.
And I could see the way that you play, you're really not just feeling it, but it's almost like your whole body is playing that tune.
Right, yeah. Well, I feel it, like just now playing it. Okay. I feel like sort of my body starts to rush a little bit, you know, and
It was really, really good. So I'm going to calm you down just a bit,
yeah.
and then I'm going to ask you to play again, if you would.
Okay.
Play
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
But why? I just want to get you back to terra firma, if you like,
Right.
and just ask you that I met you at a Mind, Body and Spirit festival.
Yes. Yes.
Have you ever played alongside anybody else in a group of some sort, or other musicians that are there?
Yes. Have I played along with other people? Yeah. Yeah. I've played along with other African musicians, which
Right.
which is always a fantastic experience. Really good. The beautiful music.
Is that not other kora players?
No, it's like sometimes other chord players, sometimes other chord players, but percussion, you know, guitar players, and that sort of thing, which is can sound really nice.
How does that? Is that African music you're playing?
Yeah, yeah. In a way, I mean, I'm playing African music with my own influences. The thing is, often when you play with African style, it has there's like that song Midian Bar that I just played there, or Jarabi. Everyone knows those songs. Everyone knows them. So you just come together. You never have to rehearse. And I've been playing with this guy, working with live music now, and we've never rehearsed. We've never actually practiced. We first played together on stage a couple of years ago, I think. And we've only ever come together to play performances, and we've never actually spoke about what we're playing and what we're doing. We've always just followed each other every single time we've played. We've just followed each other's notes, and there's little things you've got to listen out for and that sort of stuff. It's really amazing to be able to play with someone for that long and never have actually spoken about an arrangement, which is really interesting, I think. It's a really interesting way of approaching music, not actually in any way having any structure. In that sense.
I would have thought that that's a really brilliant way to do it, but there would be, surely you must have some kind of understanding on the structure of how you're going to fit certain pieces in and what you're going to do in the time limit, etc., etc.
Yeah, and you think, I mean, it's very, very sort of take it as it goes, you know, and if you'll keep an eye on the time and you'll, you know, and the good thing about that is that then you can really adapt to the audience you're playing to. Because if you've got a structure of a set that you're playing, particular pieces that you're playing, and if the audience, and you can tell sometimes that the people listening aren't 100% on the same level as you are, and it's very difficult to adapt that then if you've set yourself a complete set of music. If you're just completely playing freely and you're playing whatever you want to play at the moment, you're much easier to adapt to the feeling of the people listening to you. And like, we'll often look at each other and go, oh, we'll know which one we want to play next, because you can feel which one we want to play, because you feel which one feels right after the one.
So you're really in tune with the person you're playing with.
Yeah.
Well, I would say quite definitely, otherwise you wouldn't be able to click quite so easily.
Yeah.
I would like, before I ask you to play again, and this will be the last piece, but I would like to invite you to play alongside with your friend at my place, and we could do it for maybe for an individual charity. And we could do it like, because mine's generic at the moment.
Right.
I just want to do local chords if I can.
Right. Yeah.
Ipswich sort of cultures, those sort. But I would like to invite you, and I'll say at this moment, and watch this space, my friends, because this, I will get, and what's your friend's name?
Alan. Alan is a djembe player, percussion, and he also plays in Doni, which is a similar instrument to this, but it only has 12 strings.
Well, if you want some percussion, I play the baron.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can come and do that. But whatever the situation is, then watch this space again, friends, as I say, and we'll get these people. So, I'm going to say thank you very much before you play.
It's been a pleasure.
And I would just like you to play us out, if you would.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Sure. I'm going to play one of my own pieces now.
Okay, lovely. Well, listeners, I told you it's going to be a treat, and it's such it was. And we thank you once again, Josh, for the beautiful tones that you've given us today. So thank you very much, listeners, and till we meet another time, this is me, Spirit Rob, signing off for another time.